First contact. The crystalline corridors of Europa Research Station glinted under the artificial lights as Luna Patel made her final rounds of the evening. Her footsteps echoed through the nearly empty facility, most of the other researchers having retired to their quarters hours ago. But Luna preferred the quiet of the night shift, when she could hear herself think. The station, humanity's furthest permanent research outpost in the solar system, sat embedded in Europa's icy crust. Through reinforced windows, Luna could see the endless expanse of ice stretching toward Jupiter's massive form hanging in the black sky, its swirling storms visible even from this distance. As senior xenobiologist, Luna spent her days studying the simple life forms they'd discovered in Europa's subsurface ocean, microscopic organisms that somehow survived in the darkness beneath the ice. But tonight, something felt different. The readings from her instruments had been showing unusual patterns all day, subtle variations in the electromagnetic field that didn't match any known natural phenomenon. She paused at her workstation, running another scan of the area immediately surrounding the station. The holographic display flickered to life, showing the familiar blue-green representation of their section of Europa's surface. But there, a strange ripple in the data, like waves in a pond spreading outward from a point about 2 kilometers from the station. Luna leaned closer, adjusting the sensitivity of the sensors. Computer, analyze anomaly in Sector 7. What are we looking at? The AI's calm voice filled the room. Unknown energy signature detected. Pattern suggests artificial origin. Recommended course of action. Dispatch probe for closer examination. Luna's heart rate quickened. Artificial origin. Out here. She knew she should alert the station commander, but something made her hesitate. If this turned out to be nothing, she'd never hear the end of it from her colleagues who already thought she was too eager to find signs of advanced life. Computer, prep exploration suit and rover for immediate deployment. Authorization Patil Alpha 9. Warning. Solo exploration missions not recommended during night shift. Override. Emergency protocols allow for immediate investigation of potential xenobiological discoveries. Log it as a routine equipment check if anyone asks. As Luna suited up, her mind raced with possibilities. She'd spent her entire career searching for evidence of complex alien life, enduring the skepticism of her peers who insisted humanity was alone in the universe. Now, standing on the brink of what could be first contact, she felt strangely calm. The airlock cycled, and Luna guided the rover out onto Europa's surface. The ice crunched beneath the wheels as she followed the coordinates to the anomaly source. Jupiter's light cast long shadows across the frozen landscape, creating an otherworldly atmosphere that still took her breath away even after 3 years on the station. As she approached the coordinates, her instruments began registering increasingly strange readings. The electromagnetic disturbance was stronger here, making her equipment flutter and spark. She brought the rover to a stop and stepped out, her boots crunching on the ice. That's when she saw it, a soft glow emanating from beneath the surface, pulsing with a rhythm that seemed almost alive. Luna activated her suit's sampling equipment and carefully approached the phenomenon. The ice here was different, more crystalline in structure, as if it had been altered at the molecular level. This is Dr. Luna Patel, recording preliminary observations of unknown phenomenon on Europa's surface. She spoke into her suit's recorder. The structure appears to be. She never finished the sentence. The ice beneath her feet suddenly became transparent, revealing a vast network of crystalline formations extending deep below the surface. And there, suspended in the crystal matrix, was something that defied explanation. A being of pure light and geometric patterns, its form shifting and flowing like liquid starlight. As Luna stood transfixed, the being's glow intensified, and she felt a gentle pressure in her mind, like someone knocking on a door. Without conscious thought, she reached out and placed her gloved hand against the ice. The crystal matrix responded, patterns of light racing through it like neural pathways. And then, for the first time in human history, 2 vastly different forms of consciousness made contact. Luna gasped as her mind filled with images and sensations unlike anything she'd ever experienced. The cold depths of space between galaxies, the birth of stars, the song of gravitational waves, and through it all, a sense of profound curiosity that matched her own. The being, which her mind somehow translated as calling itself Nixis, had journeyed across the vast expanse of space, drawn to the unique properties of Europa's ice and the faint electromagnetic signatures of human technology. It had come not to conquer or destroy, but to learn, to understand, to connect. Luna knew in that moment that everything was about to change. Her discovery would reshape humanity's understanding of its place in the cosmos. But more than that, she had found something she never expected in the cold wastes of Europa, a kindred spirit whose difference from her only made their connection more profound. As the light show continued around her, Luna began documenting everything with trembling hands. This was just the beginning of an adventure that would take her further than she'd ever dreamed possible, both physically and metaphorically. The universe, she realized, was far stranger and more wonderful than anyone had imagined. And somewhere in the back of her mind, she could feel Nixis agreement, along with an emotion that transcended species barriers: hope. Breaking barriers. The next 48 hours passed in a blur of activity. After Luna's initial contact with Nixis, the Europa research station transformed from a quiet scientific outpost into a hive of excitement and controlled chaos. Scientists from every department crowded into the observation area, their faces pressed against the reinforced windows as they watched the crystalline being's mesmerizing light display. Station Commander Marcus Rodriguez stood beside Luna, his weathered face reflecting the alien glow. "Dr. Patel, you understand the magnitude of what you've discovered here." Luna nodded, her eyes never leaving the intricate patterns Nixis was creating in the ice. "It's not just first contact, Commander. Nixis represents a form of life we never even imagined could exist. The crystalline structure isn't just a shell or habitat, it's an integral part of their being. They exist as a hybrid of energy and matter." The communication chamber they'd set up hummed with activity. Banks of sensors recorded every fluctuation in Nixis' electromagnetic field, while specialized computers attempted to decode the patterns in their bioluminescent displays. Luna had barely slept, too engrossed in developing a proper communication protocol. "Look at this," she said, pulling up a holographic display. "Each pattern corresponds to a specific concept or emotion. It's not just random light. It's a language. The crystalline matrix acts as both a physical form and a communication medium." As if in response to her words, Nixis' glow intensified, sending ripples of color through the ice. The patterns were becoming more complex, more nuanced. Luna had noticed that they were beginning to incorporate elements of human mathematics and scientific notation. Nixis was learning, adapting their communication style to be more comprehensible to human minds. Dr. Rashid, the station's physicist, shook his head in amazement. "The energy readings are off the charts. They're manipulating quantum fields we barely understand. The potential applications of this technology are secondary to establishing meaningful communication," Luna interrupted firmly. She'd been fighting this battle since the beginning. The pressure to focus on the practical applications of Nixis' abilities rather than building a genuine connection. Luna returned to her workstation, where she'd set up a rudimentary interface that attempted to translate human concepts into light patterns Nixis could understand. It was crude, but it was working. Through patient trial and error, they'd established basic concepts: yes, no, danger, safety, question, answer. But it was the direct mental connection that fascinated Luna most. Every time she touched the ice near Nixis, their minds linked in a way that defied scientific explanation. The images and emotions they shared were becoming clearer and more detailed. Luna was beginning to understand fragments of Nixis' history, their journey across the galaxy, their search for other conscious beings, their profound loneliness. "Dr. Patel," Commander Rodriguez's voice pulled her from her thoughts. "The Council is demanding a progress report. They want to know if the alien, if Nixus, poses any threat to Earth. Luna suppressed a flash of irritation. Always the same questions about threats and defense. Nixus traveled across galaxies to find us, Commander. They could have attacked at any time if that was their intention. Instead, they're trying to talk to us, to understand us. As if to emphasize her point, Nixus created a new pattern, a perfect representation of the double helix of human DNA, followed by their own crystalline structure, the two images merging and separating in a dance of light that spoke of harmony and connection. Luna pressed her hand against the ice, and her mind filled with images, vast crystal cities drifting through space, beings of light and geometry living in peaceful communion, sharing knowledge and art across the cosmos. She gasped as she understood what Nixus was trying to tell them. "They're not alone," she whispered. "There's a whole civilization out there. Nixus is an explorer, like us. They're offering to be our guide to a larger community of intelligent life." The implications were staggering. Humanity wasn't just making first contact with a single alien being. They were being offered a chance to join an interstellar network of civilizations. But first, they had to prove they were ready, that they could move past fear and embrace the unknown. Commander Rodriguez was silent for a long moment, watching as Nixus continued their mesmerizing display. Finally, he spoke into his communicator. "This is Commander Rodriguez to Earth Council, regarding the alien presence on Europa. I can confirm Dr. Patel's assessment. We are witnessing the beginning of a new era in human history." Luna felt a surge of gratitude toward the commander, along with a renewed determination. The next few days would be crucial. They needed to deepen their understanding, to build the foundation of trust and mutual comprehension before Earth's politicians and military leaders could interfere. She turned back to her interface, fingers flying over the controls as she refined their communication protocols. There was so much to learn, so much to share. And somewhere in the crystalline matrix before her, an alien intelligence watched with infinite patience, ready to guide humanity toward its next great adventure. Hidden threats. The warning came without preamble. Luna was in the middle of another communication session with Nixus when the aliens' peaceful patterns suddenly shifted into sharp, urgent angles. Through their mental connection, Luna felt a wave of concern so powerful it made her stumble backward. "Something's wrong," she announced to the research team. "Nixus is trying to warn us about." The station's emergency sirens cut her off, their shrill wail echoing through the crystalline corridors. Commander Rodriguez's voice crackled over the intercom. "All personnel to emergency stations. We have a Class X solar event incoming. This is not a drill." Luna's blood ran cold. A Class X solar storm, out here with only Europa's thin magnetic field for protection. The station's shields weren't designed to handle that level of radiation. She turned to the window, where Nix's crystalline form pulsed with increasingly complex patterns. "They knew," she whispered. "They were trying to warn us." Through their mental link, Nixus shared images of the approaching storm, a massive eruption from Jupiter's magnetosphere far more dangerous than anything from Sol. The radiation would be enough to fry every piece of electronics on the station, and the electromagnetic pulse would disable their communications with Earth. Dr. Rashid burst into the room, his usual calm demeanor shattered. "The shields won't hold. We're looking at total system failure in less than 6 hours. We need to evacuate." "There's no time," Commander Rodriguez countered, joining them at the observation window. "The emergency shuttles can't outrun a storm of this magnitude. We'd be caught in open space when it hits." Luna pressed her hand against the ice near Nixus, desperately seeking solutions. The aliens' response was immediate. A flood of images showing their crystalline technology, the way it channeled and redirected energy. There was a way to survive this, but it would require something unprecedented. "Commander," Luna said, her voice steady despite her racing heart, "Nix's crystalline matrix. It's not just for communication. It's a sophisticated energy manipulation system. If we can integrate it with our shield generators, You want to merge alien technology with our life support systems. Dr. Rashid looked aghast. The risk is better than certain death. Luna finished. She turned to Commander Rodriguez. Sir, Nixus's species evolved to survive in deep space. They understand radiation and electromagnetic fields in ways we can't imagine. They want to help. The commander studied the alien swirling patterns for a long moment, then nodded sharply. What do you need? The next few hours were a blur of activity. Under Nixus's guidance, transmitted through Luna's mental link, they began modifying the station's shield generators. The alien's crystalline structure extended through the ice, forming a latticework that surrounded the station's vital systems. Dr. Rashid worked frantically to adjust their power distribution, while Luna struggled to translate Nixus's complex instructions. The alien's consciousness brushed against her mind continuously now, sharing critical information faster than words could convey. The storm's approaching faster than predicted. Rodriguez announced grimly, "We have maybe 30 minutes before it hits." Luna's hands shook as she made the final connections. The modified shield generator hummed to life, crystal formations glowing with an inner light that pulsed in sync with the station's power core. Through the windows, they could see Nixus's form had changed, spreading out to create a vast geometric pattern across Europa's surface. Brace for impact, Rodriguez ordered as the first waves of radiation reached them. The station's lights flickered, and warning alarms blared from every console. But instead of the expected catastrophe, something extraordinary happened. The crystalline network surrounding the station came alive with color, absorbing the massive energy waves and channeling them through complex geometric patterns. Where the station's conventional shields would have been overwhelmed, Nix's living crystal technology transformed the deadly radiation into spectacular displays of light and energy. Luna watched in awe as the alien's consciousness guided the process, conducting the deadly storm's energy like a cosmic symphony. Through their connection, she could feel Nix's exhilaration. This was what their species was made for, dancing with the fundamental forces of the universe. Hours passed as the storm raged around them, but inside the crystal-reinforced station, they were safe. When the last wave of radiation passed, leaving them in relative calm, Luna realized something had fundamentally changed. Nix's crystalline matrix had become permanently integrated with the station's systems, creating a hybrid of human and alien technology that had never existed before. The implications of this, Dr. Rashid murmured, studying the readings. We're not just communicating with an alien species anymore. We've actually merged our technologies. Luna nodded, feeling Nix's satisfaction through their strengthened mental link. This crisis had forced them to take a leap that might otherwise have taken years of cautious negotiation. Now there was no going back. Humanity and Nix's kind were irrevocably linked. Unity in crisis. The Europa research station had become something entirely new. Crystalline formations pulsed with light along every corridor, merging seamlessly with human technology. Through the reinforced windows, Luna could see how Nix's matrix had spread across the surface of Europa, creating a glittering network visible from orbit. But they weren't the only ones who had noticed the change. Multiple objects detected approaching from the outer system, announced the station's AI. Its voice oddly melodic now that it was integrated with Nix's crystalline systems. Configuration unknown, not matching any recorded human vessels. Luna felt Nix's recognition through their mental link before the alien could form the light patterns to communicate it. "They're others like you, aren't they?" she asked. "They felt what we did with the storm." The answer came in a cascade of images. Different species, different forms of consciousness, all part of the vast interstellar community Nix's had tried to tell them about. The merger of human and crystalline technology had sent ripples through space, attracting attention from civilizations humanity never knew existed. Commander Rodriguez called an emergency meeting in the newly transformed control center. "Earth is demanding answers," he said, his face illuminated by the pulsing crystals. They're detecting multiple anomalies entering the solar system. Some are calling for military intervention. That would be a catastrophic mistake, Luna argued. These beings crossed galaxies to reach us. If they meant us harm, we wouldn't stand a chance. But that's not why they're here. Through their strengthened connection, Nixis projected images of the approaching entities. Some were vast geometric shapes that seemed to fold space around themselves. Others were clouds of living energy, barely visible to human eyes. Each had mastered different aspects of space, time, and consciousness in ways humanity was only beginning to comprehend. Dr. Rashid's instruments were going haywire trying to analyze them. The physics they're using, it contradicts everything we thought we knew about the universe. The way they travel, the way they exist, it's beyond our current understanding. The first of the visitors arrived within hours. A ship, if it could be called that, materialized near the station, its form constantly shifting between states of matter. Through the crystalline network, Luna felt the brush of an alien consciousness vastly different from Nixis. They call themselves the Harmonious Assembly, Luna translated, as Nixis facilitated the communication. They're a collective of species who've achieved technological and consciousness synchronization. What we did here, merging human and crystalline technology, it's unprecedented. They want to help us understand what we've created. More visitors arrived. The quantum architects, beings of pure mathematics who existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. The stellar weavers, who had evolved in the coronas of stars and shaped energy as easily as humans shaped matter. The deep dreamers, ancient entities who experienced time non-linearly and saw possible futures branching like rivers. Each brought their own insights, their own technologies, their own ways of perceiving reality. The station became a hub of interspecies cooperation unlike anything in human history. Through Nixis's crystalline network, they found ways to bridge the vast gaps between their different forms of consciousness. But not everyone was comfortable with this rapid change. Earth governments argued over how to respond to the sudden arrival of so many alien species. Military vessels were dispatched to protect Earth's interests, despite Luna's warnings about the futility of such gestures. They don't understand, Luna told Commander Rodriguez as they watched another alien entity phase into existence near Europa. We're not just making first contact anymore. We're being invited to join something larger than ourselves, a community of consciousness that spans galaxies. The commander nodded thoughtfully. The question is, are we ready for it? Humanity can barely handle its own differences, let alone this level of diversity. Through their link, Nixis shared a perspective that made Luna gasp. The merger of human and crystalline technology hadn't been an accident. The solar storm, their response to it, the arrival of other species, it was all part of a greater pattern, a test of sorts. Humanity's ability to adapt, to cooperate with a truly alien intelligence in a crisis, had proven something to the galactic community. We're at a turning point, Luna realized. Everything that's happening here, on this little moon around Jupiter, it's going to change the course of human history. We can either embrace this opportunity or retreat in fear. A new signal caught their attention. Earth's military vessels were approaching Europa, weapons primed. At the same time, more alien visitors were arriving, their strange geometries filling the space around the station. The next few moments would determine humanity's path to the stars, through fear and force, or through cooperation and understanding. New horizons. Time seemed to slow as the Earth vessels approached, their weapon systems casting an ominous red glow against Europa's icy surface. Luna stood in the crystal-enhanced control center, her mind linked with Nixis, and through them, touching the consciousness of dozens of alien species gathered around the station. This is Admiral Chen of the Earth Defense Fleet. A stern voice crackled through the comm system. All alien vessels are ordered to withdraw from Sol system immediately. Any aggressive action will be met with lethal force. Luna felt the ripple of amusement that passed through the alien consciousnesses, not mockery, but a gentle understanding of humanity's fear-driven response. Through their link, She sensed how the visitors perceived Earth's ships. Tiny sparks of light, beautiful but fragile, like fireflies challenging the stars. "Admiral," Luna broadcast, her voice steady, "before you take any action, I need you to see what we see." She pressed her hand against the nearest crystal formation, and Nixus amplified her consciousness, projecting the unified perspective of all gathered species into the minds of the Earth Fleet's crews. For one breathtaking moment, humanity glimpsed the universe as their visitors saw it, an interconnected web of consciousness and energy, where the boundaries between matter and spirit, technology and life, individual and community dissolved into a greater whole. They saw their own species as others saw them, young, passionate, full of potential, standing at the threshold of an evolutionary leap. The weapons systems on the Earth ships powered down. What was that? Admiral Chen's voice had lost its military hardness, replaced by wonder. "That," Luna said softly, "is what we're being offered. Not an invasion, not a conquest, but an invitation to join something greater than ourselves." Through the crystal network, the assembled alien species began to share their gifts. The quantum architects offered designs for engines that could fold space, making the galaxy accessible to human exploration. The stellar weavers taught them how to harness the energy of stars without destroying them. The deep dreamers shared visions of possible futures where humanity had evolved beyond its current limitations. But it was Nixus who provided the key to it all. Their crystalline technology, now merged with human systems, could serve as a bridge between Earth's current state and its potential future. The process couldn't be rushed. Humanity would need to grow into its new role gradually, learning and adapting at its own pace. Commander Rodriguez stepped forward, addressing both the Earth fleet and the alien visitors. "On behalf of humanity, we accept your invitation, not as subordinates, but as partners in this grand journey of discovery." The next few weeks were a blur of activity as the Europa Research Station was transformed into humanity's first interstellar embassy. Representatives from Earth's nations arrived to meet with the alien species, while scientists and engineers worked to understand and implement the shared technologies. Luna found herself at the center of it all, serving as a bridge between human and alien perspectives. Through her connection with Nixus, she helped translate not just words and concepts, but ways of thinking and being that had previously been beyond human comprehension. One quiet moment, as she stood watching Jupiter's swirling storms through the crystal-enhanced windows, Luna felt Nixus's consciousness touch her mind with particular warmth. "You knew, didn't you?" she asked silently. "From that first moment when I found you in the ice, you knew this was possible." The answer came in waves of light and emotion. Not a simple yes or no, but a deeper truth. Nixus's species had been watching humanity for a long time, waiting for the right moment, the right person, to initiate contact. They had seen humanity's potential for both great destruction and extraordinary creation. The choice of which path to take had to be humanity's own. Luna felt a presence behind her and turned to see Admiral Chen, who had remained at the station as Earth's military liaison. The Admiral's face was thoughtful as she watched the alien ships moving in their strange geometries against the stars. "You know," Chen said quietly, "all my life I trained to defend Earth from threats from space. Never imagined I'd end up helping to welcome them instead." She smiled slightly. "Guess we all have some evolving to do." Luna nodded, feeling the truth of those words. Humanity was taking its first steps into a larger universe, one that operated on principles they were only beginning to understand. There would be challenges ahead, cultural differences to navigate, new technologies to master, old fears to overcome. But as she stood there, connected through the crystal network to minds both human and alien, Luna felt a profound sense of rightness. This was humanity's true destiny, not to conquer the stars, but to join them in their dance, adding Earth's unique voice to the cosmic symphony. Through the station's windows, Europa's ice glittered with crystalline patterns that now extended across half the moon's surface. Soon, similar networks would begin growing on Earth, Mars, and other human settlements, creating a web of connection that would guide humanity's growth into a truly spacefaring civilization. The universe, Luna realized, was not a cold, empty void to be conquered, but a living community waiting to be joined. And humanity, with all its flaws and potential, had finally been invited to take its place among the stars. In the crystalline corridors of the station, human and alien minds worked together, sharing dreams of what might be. And in those dreams, Luna saw the future unfolding like a flower opening to the light of distant suns, beautiful, unexpected, and full of endless possibilities.